Hello, this is Tim Law with Planet Forward Coaching, always encouraging self-reliance. If you develop a marketable skill, chase that skill with a good work ethic. Always go the extra mile, develop people and communication skills. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish in this country. You have a wonderful young lady here, Elizabeth Ionescu, who is just an incredible, amazing tennis player at her young age of about 15. So Elizabeth, welcome, and I understand you and some guy named Phil Myers, who I know pretty well, are going to have an exhibition match over at John Davis's house on September 24th. So tell us a little bit about that upcoming match.
Yeah, so Phil and I are gonna have like a little exhibition match at the Outdoor Country Club on September 24th. Um, we want everyone to like come out from the tennis community and watch us play tennis, and then there's gonna be a barbecue happening at
Mhm.
5 p.m., I believe, and then the match is at 3. So you can watch a good match and probably we can make some jokes. We'll see. And then have like a good time afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful, Elizabeth. And how long have you and Phil known each other? I know your dad and mom and he are all good friends. How long have you known Phil?
Um, I think ever since I started playing tennis, I
Uh-huh.
think like because I remember Wisehaven was run by different owners and
Mhm.
then Phil took over. But even then, I think Phil still saw me like skip Pee-wees and go straight to JD1. So I
Mhm.
think I've known him ever since I started playing tennis.
Sure, sure. And tell us about this year you've had. You've had an amazing year in tennis, Elizabeth. So go ahead and share that with us here, please.
Yeah, I've had a really good year so far. I've had really good matches, tough ones, 3 sets. I've been playing a lot of PTTs and I got my first ITF point for women's and juniors this year. I played a J60 in Puerto Rico, my first ever ITF. I didn't know how it worked. The lets confused me because you don't play them. And then I picked it up after like a match, but at first it was all like a new experience and it's all like international players. Um, in Puerto Rico, J60, I made it to the semifinals. And then when we got home, I got put on antibiotics because I drank the water in Puerto Rico. We drank tap water. Like we ran out of water and I went to the sink and just like filled it up, which you wouldn't even do that here. And I did
Sure.
it in Puerto Rico. Um, and then went to Canada, Quebec, one of my favorite tournaments, I think. Even though I didn't have the results I might have wanted in the finals, I still had a really good time and it was overall a really good tournament. I made it to the finals of singles and doubles.
Mhm.
And then I went to Colorado for a women's 25K like ITF and I played qualies and I got to the first round and then lost. But it was a good match and I got my first like ITF points.
Yeah, and explain the importance, Elizabeth, the importance of the ITF points, if you could.
So the ITF points will get you into many like qualies. So the more points you have, you can get into main draws. So you don't have to play qualifying.
Mhm.
So right now with the points I have, I could get into the 15 like like without like a worry like that you won't get into the tournament. So the more points you rack up, you get that ITF ranking. So then someone that doesn't have any points at all, you're before them.
Mhm.
So going into Colorado, we were a little bit stressed because we didn't know if I got into the tournament. So it was like endless amounts of phone calls and just like it was stressful because we didn't know if I would get in.
Mhm.
So I was like, we don't know if we get in. So we just went to Colorado, didn't know if I got into the tournament. And then when we got there, he said you got in, and then, but only for qualifying. So every point that you rack up is really important because then you don't have to stress about playing qualies and you can make it directly to main draw.
Mhm.
Or you have a couple ITF points that get you directly into qualifying and you don't have to worry about not even getting into qualifying draw.
Sure, sure. Well, and then you had a real good tournament in San Diego, I understand. So tell us a little bit about how well that one went, because that was an amazing result you had there.
Yeah, San Diego Hardcourt Nationals has to be one of my favorite tournaments of the year. It's the one that I prepare for like the whole year. I look forward to that tournament. It's the biggest tournament of the year. I had a good run. I made it one round further than I did last year, which it's pretty good to me.
Hmm.
But I definitely wanted to do better. I definitely think I could have done a couple things like differently. I feel like that's on any match to be honest, but
Hmm.
I played good matches and then I played the world number one who won the Wimbledon and she won the tournament, but I lost to her. It was a tough match. She has a lot of experience and she's a really good player.
And that was the Wimbledon Juniors, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. And you had a relatively close match with her. And you said, and then she went on to win that tournament. And then tell us what happens if you win that particular tournament.
Yeah, so San Diego, if you win hard courts, you get wild card to US Open, the main draw, the women's, and
Mhm.
the main draw to juniors.
Mhm.
So you get both. And the second place gets qualifying women's and main draw juniors. And then, because only the winner of that tournament gets directly to the main draw of women's.
Right.
And then third place, I think, also gets qualifying to women's and I would believe main draw to juniors, but I'm
Okay.
not 100% certain on that. I think so though.
Sure, sure. No, it's all wonderful. That's uh, without a doubt. Who have been some of your main role models? I know your mom was an Olympic level runner, 400 and 800, and your dad was an Olympian as far as the steeplechase was concerned. So, besides your mom and dad, or in addition to your mom and dad, who else have been good role models for you?
Um, I've been watching Breakpoint on Netflix right now.
Okay.
It's like the tennis documentary. So I've been looking up to like Tomjanovic and Badosa, Sabalenka and all them and how they wait, is Sabalenka in it? I don't think so. I don't remember to be honest.
Okay,
I'm
that's
only
all right.
on the second episode. But like looking up to like other like tennis players and how they might struggle or go through the same things that I do,
Mhm.
it's like relieving almost because it's like, oh, they also have the same problems as me, and they're
Sure.
professional.
Mhm. Mhm.
So role models, I feel like are my dad and mom. I look up to them a lot and I don't know who else. I
Okay.
look up to like anyone that's better than me and I just like want to like try to like incorporate their routine into mine and see like what they do and what I can do better.
Mhm. Now that makes total sense, Elizabeth, for sure. And Elizabeth, this has been wonderful. Any last second thoughts you'd like to put in here as far as maybe let's say next year as far as San Diego or any of the other tournaments as far as next year is concerned?
I don't really know 100% like what my schedule is gonna be like going forward. Um, right now is almost like an off season, pre-season
Hmm.
type of like thing because San Diego is over. There's obviously more tournament. There's a tournament in tennis every single week. If
Sure.
you wanted to go crazy, you could go every single tournament. That's the good thing about tennis is there's always another tournament. It's not like maybe like track or gymnastics where it's like the biggest tournament or like competition is in 2 years or
Hmm.
4 years or whatever. Here you have every single week you can go and compete and do better. Maybe not necessarily with the higher like what's the word? Higher
Higher level competition, you mean, or
yeah, or like more at risk, more at stake.
okay, gotcha.
I don't think I'm saying that right.
Yeah, that's okay. It's
It's
all
okay.
right.
Moving on. but there's always another tournament to play. And I think for San Diego next year, my dream really my goal is to get to US Open next year. I'd love if that would happen. Even juniors or women's, whatever happens, my goal is to get to US Open next year.
Oh, that's an awesome goal for sure. I've got a couple kids on our Northeastern tennis team that are going down to watch the US Open. Actually, they're down there this weekend. So they're really excited about seeing it. And one of the things I said to them is make sure you watch, don't just watch the ball, watch how they prepare for the next shot. That is just so
Yeah.
important. So, do you have any
Mhm.
advice you'd give for up and coming tennis players, Elizabeth?
Trust the process. It's gonna be long. It's gonna be hard, and honestly, just never like not giving up when things get hard or tough.
Mhm,
Maybe getting a journal and writing down your practices, like
mhm,
what your coach said, what you can learn, seeing like other people, what they do, like noticing, oh, before they're like in between points, like they go to the fence, they're talking to themselves, like positivity. Like
mhm,
you can write down in a little journal, like I have mine at the side of my bed, and I just anytime I'll like think of something and I'll be like, okay, write this down, or
mhm.
like thinking positive on the tennis court.
Very good, very good. I think that you couldn't ask for better advice than that, Elizabeth. Well, can you hang in there for a minute or two after we get finished here?
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.